Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's December 2nd. We're going to take a quick look at TradingView and our SPY SRX Support and Resistance Levels and the SPY ATM trade. Both of these systems are courtesy of your friends at TradeLab. We're a Discord with several different services that we run, and I'll have more information on how to join if you're interested in joining any of these services in the description. So let's take a look. So we sort of ended where we began today, but we did a whole lot of moving in between open and close. Definitely some reversals and some chops, so you had to be really careful out there today, but the SRX levels did provide a lot of really good plays. Now, the system that I like the most are the buy and sell arrows, and as you can see, we only had one buy arrow today and it didn't work out. This high of day, and I called this out in chat, that the high of day is going to make or break this trade. And yeah, we just couldn't get out of that high of day right here. And so we reversed on this big red candle here. So our one arrow play of the day didn't work out, but you know what? That happens. If every trade were a winner, we'd all be filthy rich. So you've just got to cut your losses and move on to the next trade. And I made up for this later in the day, as you'll see. Now our dots, the blue dots are bullish, the yellow dots are bearish. These are still fantastic plays. The difference between the two, the arrows will appear when we're in a trend and we're going with the trend. And the dots are if we're in chop or we're not in a trend or we're counter trend. And so we had a mixture of all of that today. We had chop, we had counter trend, and we had times when we weren't in a trend at all. But these dots did really good work today. So you can see we had a bearish play here and it worked out really well. Then we had three bearish dots here. This first one was a monster run. Then we had three blue dots here. All of those worked. The yellow dot here did not work. That would have been a stop. Two blue dots here both worked. And you could have even played this, this very last 5-minute candle if you wanted to. You would definitely have to be really careful playing something like that, but there was a little bit of money to be made there as well. So the dots were in control today and they did well. But what really shined today was just the support and resistance itself. Now, we didn't get a very clean hit of S1. We were a few pennies off from hitting the top of this S1 zone. But if you were watching closely, and some were, they were able to catch this move and take this all the way back up to R1. One of our members did that, and I'll show that in just a little bit. And there was another great opportunity here when we hit R1 and we reversed, and we went all the way back down, not just to S1, not just to the pre-market low, and not even just to S2. We went below that. So that's a monster move here if you were able to see this wick right here and take this play. If you just took it down to S1, you're looking at 0.42%. If you're going down to S2, you're looking at 0.7. And if you held it to the bottom, you're looking at 0.62. And if for some reason you missed that and you got in at the dot instead, that's still a really solid play. So 0.29 to S1, 0.34 to S2, almost 0.5 down to the bottom. Then more good opportunities here, these dots, and we're getting bounces off of S1, and we didn't make it all the way up to S2, but we did make it to the pre-market high. And then we rejected off a pre-market high and went right back down into S1 and S2. And then we popped up from there, and this was the play I was really interested in. This is where I started to get in. Right here, we had, we bottomed out right here and we popped back up and we had these two blue dots appear. Now, I wasn't in the office when that happened, so I wasn't able to take that. I got back probably around here, around 205, 210, and I was watching this closely. And as we came down into S1, I put in chat that I'm watching S1 closely to see what happens. And we closed we bounced right off of it and closed below. So I jumped in here and took 3 different plays right in this area. Now you could have just held this, could have taken this and held this all the way to here when we're closing back below the 8 EMA. That's a really good run right there. So this is where I got in. And if you would have held it to here, you're looking at 0.21%. So that's a hefty move right there. That's probably, let's see, 80% on a 0 DTE at the money play. So that's a really, really good move. But well, before we move into poster profits, let's take a look at the ATM play. The ATM play came in right here at 10:30, and it was for buying a put. And I jumped in, I took it off at 20%, but I left a runner. So I was hoping we'd be able to come down here and at least catch S2. Now that didn't happen today. It reversed on us before getting into S1. So as it came back up, I took off the runner for a small profit. So, you know, it's not going to work out every day, but I think it's worth holding in case you come down to S1 or S2, or you just keep going down to previous day low or S3. We didn't have an S4 today. So yeah, definitely worth holding that, even when it sometimes doesn't work out. So let's take a quick look at poster profits. We have Keith here saying he caught a 14-cent scalp back up to the previous day high, and he did that with 10 contracts. So that was a really good play from him. And then we had people commenting. We were in and out of that SPY ATM play within a few minutes. So you see people commenting with their plays there: 142 to 180, 155 to 187. You can also do SPY ATM with MES or SPX. So you see right here, someone did it with SPX and made $300. And then here I am, 153 to 187, and I pointed out that I tried to hold a runner to S1, but we bounced. So I took my runner off at 157 to secure profit. And then we had people chiming in about SRX after the ATM play was done. So Lance is here. He made 12.3% on an SRX trade. And then this is where I jumped in right here at 2. I started jumping in right here at 225. Screenshots popped up a little bit later, but SRX play in less than 90 seconds, that was 27%. Another 90-second play, 21%, actually almost 22. And then just a little bit after that, I had a 45% play. So I did all of those within about 20 minutes. So there was plenty of action in the afternoon. Then we have several people here. This is probably Celtic Trader, whose real name is Aiden, 112 to 126. And then he had another play right here. Very quick scalp of PDH, 111 to 116, 117. And look how quick this is. So what's that, 12 seconds on that play right there? Some of these, if you're scalping, you can get in and out of these things really fast. And Aiden is the king of scalping. So we had someone here. So this is Keith again. He says these levels are ridiculously good. Almost tagged S1 within 3 cents of the zone, then shot back up to R1. So he's talking about this play right here, where we come down and we went right back up. So he says he's done for the day, lots of opportunities. And then we had 182 to 195, 695 on the bull run. Thanks, Lance. And this is a bad trader. He says, working on being consistent, only traded 1 contract today to work on my strategy. And here's some of his plays: 123 to 154, 143 to 145, 158 to 192. So this is great. We had some really great plays. There were more plays that I didn't forward over to the poster profit section. If you're interested in joining, check out the description. The SRX Levels is a very inexpensive system. It's only $49 a month. You get access to these levels every day, and the indicator, which gives you the buy and sell signals and the zones that are around the levels. And we also have the SPY ATM play that comes out at 10:30 every day. It tells you exactly what contract to buy, your take profit, your stop loss, and tells you the amount of contracts you should do based on your account size so that you're playing safe. So yeah, hope you guys will come check us out at Trade Lab, and we'll see you back here tomorrow on Wednesday, December 3rd.